My name is Emma. The day I applied for my first mortgage, I expected to leave the bank with exciting news. Instead, the loan officer looked at me with confusion, turned his monitor toward me, and asked why I had not mentioned my second house. I laughed and told him there had to be some mistake because I had never owned any house. Then he showed me the records: a mortgage, 2 credit cards, and a business lease, all opened under my legal name. The emergency contact on every account was the same person, my best friend, Kara, the woman I had trusted for more than 20 years. I kept telling myself it could not be true. Kara knew everything about me. She had been there when my father died, and I had helped care for her children. Years earlier, we had even started a small event planning business together. When the company closed, she handled the paperwork, including copies of my identification, my signature, tax records, and old addresses. She told me she had destroyed those files after we shut the business down, and I believed her. Around that same time, Kara's life suddenly changed. She bought a beautiful house, opened a luxury boutique, and started driving expensive cars. Whenever people asked how she had done it, she smiled and said, "Sometimes you just have to bet on yourself." I admired her success. I never imagined I was the one paying for it. After leaving the bank, I called her immediately and asked whether she knew anything about accounts opened in my name. There was a long silence. Then she laughed nervously and blamed identity thieves. That evening, she came to my house with a bottle of wine, hugged me while I cried, and printed guides showing me how to dispute fraud. The entire time, the woman comforting me already knew exactly who had stolen my identity. The next morning, I froze my credit and filed a police report. Even then, I defended Kara. I told investigators that she had access to my documents, but I insisted she would never do something like this. Weeks later, the evidence arrived. The loan applications had been submitted from Kara's home internet connection. The signatures matched old business documents she had kept. A bank security photograph showed a woman wearing a cheap wig and glasses. It was Kara, using a fake license with my name and her photograph. When I saw that image, 22 years of friendship disappeared in seconds. Before detectives questioned her, Kara asked to meet me privately. She admitted opening what she called a few accounts and claimed she had only wanted to save her struggling business. Then she made me an offer. If I stayed quiet for 6 months, she promised to sell one of the properties and repay everything. She even handed me a written agreement asking me to sign. But the document would have made the debt look like a private business arrangement instead of fraud. Then I asked her one question: had she done this to anyone else? She froze. That silence told me everything. I ended the meeting and handed her proposal directly to investigators. The investigation uncovered something even worse. Kara had not only used my identity, she had opened accounts using her own children's information and kept files containing personal details from former clients and relatives. I was not her first victim. I was simply the one who discovered the pattern. When the truth became public, mutual friends begged me to drop the charges. Some said prison would destroy her children. Others claimed she was simply desperate, but none of them had spent months terrified to answer unknown phone calls. None of them had watched their dream of buying a home disappear because someone they loved had stolen their future. I stopped explaining myself and let the evidence speak. Eventually, more victims came forward. One woman found a phone contract opened in her name. Another discovered unpaid loans she had never applied for. The pattern became impossible to deny. Kara had built her perfect life by using the trust of people who loved her and believed they would be too loyal, too embarrassed, or too afraid to accuse her. In court, Kara pleaded guilty to identity theft, forgery, and financial fraud. She apologized through tears and admitted she had become addicted to looking successful. Every lie required another loan, and every loan required another victim. When the judge asked whether I wanted a permanent no-contact order, I said yes. Not because I hated her, but because I finally understood that trust without boundaries is not kindness. Sometimes, it is permission. Repairing my credit took almost 2 years. The townhouse I had originally wanted was long gone. Eventually, I found a smaller home with a sunny kitchen and a narrow balcony. At closing, I signed my own name over and over again. For the first time in years, every signature belonged to me, and every page represented a choice I actually understood. I did not throw a huge housewarming party. Only a few people came, the friends who had believed me before the evidence forced everyone else to. Looking around that little home, I realized Kara had not stolen my future. She had only delayed it. And sometimes, walking away from the people who betray you is the first real investment you ever make. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Unheard Drama Stories for more unforgettable betrayals, shocking secrets, and emotional true-style dramas.